So Piggy went to the market. So Piggy went all the way home.
Why is Sydney Sweeney receiving so much criticism for her role this season? She's just an actress doing her job. Now, one of the biggest reasons Euphoria Season 3 has become so controversial online is because of Sydney Sweeney's new OnlyFans storyline as Cassie. And honestly, the internet is completely divided over it. In the new season, Cassie reportedly starts an OnlyFans account to fund this insanely extravagant lifestyle and wedding fantasy with Nate. But viewers online immediately started calling the storyline exploitative, unrealistic, overly sexualized, and honestly, humiliating. Some scenes especially went viral online because people felt the show had completely crossed the line with shock value. There were scenes involving Cassie mailing used underwear, bizarre fetish requests, explicit live streams, and even surreal fantasy sequences that left viewers genuinely uncomfortable. And after those episodes aired, social media exploded. One viral post literally said, "The oversexuality of Cassie is ruining Euphoria for me." Another viewer wrote, "They cannot be paying Sydney Sweeney enough for all this." And honestly, even real-life OnlyFans creators started speaking out against the show, because many of them argued that Euphoria's portrayal of adult content creators feels exaggerated, degrading, and harmful. Some creators specifically criticized the show for making it look cartoonish, humiliating, and completely disconnected from reality. But on the other side, some viewers defended the storyline. They argued Cassie's downward spiral is supposed to feel uncomfortable because the character is intentionally self-destructive and obsessed with validation. And even Sam Levinson defended Sydney Sweeney's performance, saying she brings emotional depth and vulnerability to the chaos of Cassie's character. But honestly, this controversy has now become much bigger than just one TV show, because online people are debating oversexualization in Hollywood, exploitation, shock value television, and whether actresses like Sydney Sweeney are being empowered or simply turned into viral controversy for entertainment.
Sydney Sweeney is facing backlash for using the R word in Euphoria. So in the newest episode of Euphoria, Sydney's character Cassie is going on a bunch of podcasts. On these podcasts, she says things like, if a man says he wants a girlfriend that can cook or clean, he might as well be screaming the N-word. And in another scene, when she's told she sounds like a Democrat, she says, please, I'm not R-word. Now, people are very upset with these scenes, basically saying that it seems like Sydney is just straight up playing herself. Y'all all remember the Good Genes controversy. And they feel like the show is kind of a guise to let Sydney show her true feelings about certain things.
Now, while looking through Reddit discussions about Sydney Sweeney, one person wrote, "I don't know if it's just me, but her storyline makes sense. She has no idea who she is, chasing empty feelings, obviously vapid and lost." They continued saying, "She's become a master manipulator like Nate against Nate." And another part of the comments said, "Their older friends being mortified by her content made me feel a lot better because it's so not normal, but I believe it's true to life for a lot of women." Another Reddit user wrote, "Honestly, it has felt as though Levinson is almost mocking Sydney with the direction of Cassie." They continued by saying Cassie being fame-obsessed and willing to sell her body reminds them strongly of Sydney herself, especially mentioning the Sweet Jeans ad and bathwater controversy. One person commented, "Rue's monologue during those scenes was definitely a jab and almost made me feel bad. But then I remembered it's completely true when it comes to both Cassie and Sydney." One user wrote, "Because the actress herself is problematic and is playing a problematic character. A lot of people feel that she's playing herself." Another viral comment said, "No shade, but her character feels like a misogynistic tool to hate on specifically blonde women." They continued saying, "She's every stereotype personified. She doesn't even feel like an actual human with how dumb and mindless she is." And then they added, "Her existence feels like cathartic hate, and I'm completely over it." One person replied, "It's bad because earlier in the show, Cassie really did have a personality and personhood." Another comment said, "Yeah, they've dumbed her down so much." They continued saying, "It's not even just the OnlyFans plotline. Look at how she talks to Maddie, Nate, and her neighbors. She's acting completely oblivious." And then they added, "She's acting like a more immature teen than she did when she was meant to be a teen."
Dear Cassie on Euphoria is not a character for Sydney Sweeney anymore. Her and Cassie are the same person. We got a little insight to this thanks to Trisha Paytas, who went to our podcast and said her whole scene was improv and was very caught off guard at how easily the actress, which we now know as Sydney Sweeney, was to say some wild lines.
Cracking up, like it was so funny. Like something, I think I told you the lines. I won't say them here, but oh my god, the lines were so crazy. I was like, how do I not? And I was just laughing. I was like, that's why I can't be an actor. I just kept laughing because it was just so like this person would say something and I'm just like, what? Because there was a little improv and I was just like, I don't know. I don't even know what to say to that.
The teaser shows Cassie wearing an over-the-top baby-themed outfit and posing in provocative lingerie during a controversial photo shoot scene while someone takes pictures of her for what appears to be adult-themed online content. At one point in the teaser, Cassie even says, "I just feel like if more people knew me, I would be huge." And right after that line, the controversial clip appears on screen. And social media absolutely exploded after people saw it. One person on X wrote, "I don't understand how Euphoria went from the beautiful masterpiece that was season 1 to Cassie dressed like a baby doing OnlyFans while the show is set in a desert." Another user reacted even more strongly and wrote, "Man, Cassie from Euphoria dressed like a baby is so gross." Other person commented, "I just got a pic of Sydney Sweeney in Euphoria dressed like a baby. I'm scared, dude." Another said, "What's the deal with this season of Euphoria?" And honestly, comments like that started spreading everywhere online, because people weren't just debating the scene itself anymore.
The show was told the editors at HBO had such a hard time editing that scene because they did not realize it was improv and didn't know where all of this was coming from.
Now, another Euphoria Season 3 scene that sparked major backlash online involved Cassie wearing dog ears and filming another bizarre, controversial photo shoot scene. According to reports, the scene shows Cassie inside what people online started calling a dog-themed setup, while someone films the content for her. But interestingly, Euphoria creator Sam Levinson actually defended the scene in an interview. He explained that the moment was intentionally supposed to feel absurd and uncomfortable. Levinson said, "Cassie has got her dog house and her little dog ears and the nose, and that has its own humor." But then he added that what made the scene funny to him was the fact that Cassie's housekeeper was the one filming it. According to Levinson, the goal was to create a sense of awkwardness and break viewers out of Cassie's fantasy world instead of making the moment feel glamorous. But honestly, a lot of fans online were not convinced by that explanation, because many viewers argued the show keeps pushing Cassie into increasingly extreme situations for viral attention rather than emotional character development.
I'm sorry, but what did I just watch? You want to talk about a show that has lost the absolute plot? Well, it is Euphoria Season 3. You don't need the analogy that she is becoming a giant and to like all these little people that are as a giant. And now this season, the fall off is just substantially insane.
But while Sydney Sweeney receives a lot of criticism online today, many people forget that she has also spoken openly before about how deeply internet hate has affected her emotionally. Back in 2021, Sydney actually posted an emotional Instagram live after trending on Twitter because people were brutally mocking her appearance online. And some of the comments were incredibly harsh. One viral tweet reportedly called her ugly and even compared her to a Muppet. Sydney broke down in tears while speaking to her followers. At one point she said, "Apparently I'm trending on Twitter right now for being ugly." And you could tell she was genuinely hurt by everything people were saying. Sydney explained that even though celebrities are constantly told, "Don't read the comments," while crying during the live stream, she said, "I'm a person." And I think that moment shocked a lot of people because viewers suddenly saw a completely different side of Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney also said,
"People need to be nicer on social media because it's really messed up." And after the live stream went viral, many fans actually rushed to defend her online. Some people pointed out how insane beauty standards on the internet have become, especially toward women in Hollywood. Others argued that no matter how famous or attractive someone is perceived to be, constant criticism and objectification can still seriously affect a person mentally. Let's take a look at how Sydney Sweeney responded to her character in the movie.
Season 3, our girl Cassie shifts her attention to OnlyFans.
I mean, Cassie is a crazy character. She will do anything and at all costs to be famous this season.
and she makes a lot of very wild, interesting choices. In true Cassie fashion, she will not disappoint, that's for sure.
If this is the end of Euphoria, what is your perfect Cassie ending?
I don't know if there's a perfect Cassie ending. It might be where we've ended, and I can't give it away.
Are you satisfied?
I don't know if I'll ever be satisfied. Cassie has been such a big part of my life, so I think it's a very bittersweet moment, for sure.
Does Sydney Sweeney really like doing this much nudity? And after that post went viral, the comments became incredibly divided. One person wrote, "I'm pretty sure she's laughing all the way to the bank for getting paid to do those scenes." Another user commented, "It's acting, that's what people are doing in reality." And then somebody else sarcastically wrote, "Humiliation ritual for having good genes." But one of the comments that got a lot of attention said, "Let's be completely honest. Sydney Sweeney wasn't going to be winning any Oscars. She found a niche that keeps her employed and very much in the spotlight." Sydney's image can also help her make money through things like brand deals and lingerie campaigns. Whether or not you think it's tasteful, Sydney is not being exploited. The person who benefits the most from this is her. One person wrote, "Who does it face backlash from? Certainly not people who watch Euphoria. Not from the actress who read the script and said, 'Yes, I'll do that.'"
Sydney Sweeney's giant scene could have been empowering, but instead they keep on losing the point. Because between the podcast, the opening scene, and just the overall morals of Cassie this season, you kind of ruin any possible development for her, and you ruin the entire point. Now we're literally just seeing Sydney Sweeney play herself. The morals are completely out of the window just to get as much fame as possible, and then she shifts the blame on people's perception of her.
Let's take another look at why Sydney Sweeney is facing so much criticism online right now. Because the internet is very divided over her lately.
Recent images of Sydney Sweeney on Euphoria Season 3, girl, like blink if you need help, and I'm really scared of the fact that you think that you don't need help, that you have nobody on your team that is telling you that you can say no to things. The saddest part is when women play into those tropes. Like again, like I don't need Cassie's storyline to be like, oh wow, like I need to act like a baby and like suck on a pacifier and like expose myself in order to like get this character arc. And I go, why do we need that to be the character arc? And it makes me think about the recent video of like Zendaya on the red carpet taking photos or whatever, and like as soon as she got like her contract amount of photos that she needed to like have as an appearance, she literally dipped and she like bumped into the creator, and he was like, "Oh, like you're gonna stay, like please stay, blah blah whatever," and she was like, "Oh, sorry, gotta go." And it's like, I don't know how anybody is okay to have their name on a project like that.
That is all I have for you guys today. Let me know what you think in the comments below, because this entire Sydney Sweeney conversation has honestly become way bigger than just one actress or one TV show. Do you think the backlash against Sydney is justified? Or do you think the internet has become way too harsh towards celebrities lately? Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel, Trending Stories, because we're going to be posting a lot more celebrity drama, pop culture deep dives, and trending stories just like this one. Hit subscribe and stay tuned, because the deeper you go into celebrity drama, the crazier it gets. Bye guys.